Hey, it's so good to have you here. Oh my goodness, a whole week has gone and we are still podcasting on the daily. Thank you for your support. Just a quick shout out to those of you that have listened and just reached out. You might have listened to one episode and you're just sharing comments. It's just nice to know that there's someone on the end of this. So thank you to Mel Kettle, Seth Clark, Ashley Lofton, Joe Fitzgerald, MBS, and Andy Storch for listening in and just sharing that. Just sending through some encouragement. I really appreciate it. There's like 51 more weeks left, but look, I'm still giving myself a high five just for kicking this off. And what you find out when you start something like this is that you get momentum. And what I've realized is one of my biggest fears was like, what the heck am I going to talk about for a whole year? But as I'm having conversations or even some fun SMS conversations with friends, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's worth talking about on the show. And I don't have to wait a week. I can just bring it out. I don't really need to store ideas in my iPhone notes. I can just start talking about it. So thank you for being here and being part of this journey as well. And hopefully this streak continues. I want to share an idea today that really stood out for me when I was at a Christmas lunch back in 2023, it was, hosted by my friend Kate Pearden. She's appeared on the First Time Facilitator podcast before, and she held a lovely founders lunch with obviously founders, people that have their own businesses. And I was sitting next to Nicole Dyson. Nicole Dyson does incredible work in the education and innovation space. And she had such really great ideas generally, but one idea that stood out for me was around relationships and friendships. And she had said that 2023, when she was interested in an event like a concert, stand-up comedy, a show, rather than hesitating, she would just buy 2 tickets. And what she would do is she'd figure out who she'd wanted to bring along later on. So let's just say, you know how often we're like, oh, I really want to catch up with so-and-so for coffee. And you know, how often do we actually make that happen? And coffees are good. I much prefer walk and talks or like a late lunch or a sunset drink on a rooftop, right? Like if that's just what I prefer. Coffee's fine. I just kind of like don't enjoy sitting passively for an hour. I'd rather kind of be either at a really great spot location or walking, doing something physical or in the outdoors. Or this, which is, so just buy 2 tickets and then figure out who it is later. Now, often it'll be either Chris, but he's not interested in some of the things I'm interested in. I don't think he really likes, let's be honest, he doesn't love the theater. So I can take my sister, I can take a friend, someone else, my mum. Like, I just like the idea of you'll find someone that will go with you. And if not, it's okay to go alone. One of my favorite concerts actually was Elton John. I flew up to Cairns to see him. Oh, this is back in 2017 or 2018. Because I only bought 1 ticket when tickets went on sale, 1 ticket can get you in the front row. My ticket was seat 1A. And yes, it was as amazing as that sounds. Like I was right up front with Elton John, probably like 3/4 of the way through the concert where he just says everyone to stand up. And so I was right up front. I got the lead guitarist guitar pick, shook hands with Elton John. It was incredible. So I guess I wanted to share that idea with you as just something that's kind of fun for your 2025 is thinking around if you are interested in going to an event. Sometimes I hesitate because I'm like, oh, who will I take? And then by the time people get back to me saying they can't do it, the tickets are sold out or the seats aren't as good. So I think for this year is if I'm interested in going and I'm around that city at that time, I'm just going to select 2 tickets and I'll figure out who I'll invite later on. So far, I have tickets to Nikki Glaser. She's a comedian. If you watch Tom Brady's roast on Netflix, Nikki just stole the show. She's so wrong, but just hilarious. She's hosting a stand-up comedy show in Brisbane. I've got tickets to Lifehouse and Train. So really corny kind of pop ballads, but they're playing River Stage in Brisbane. Clifford Morgan and I actually are running this is not a 2-ticket strategy, but we're hosting a corporate box coaching session at a Brisbane Raw match in Brisbane on the 31st of January. I've bought the corporate box. There's still a few tickets left. I think in the show notes for this, you can see a link for that if you want to join us for a Friday night corporate box coaching. What is it? I think it is like what it is on the label. So basically, we'll be running some leadership workshopping, planning for the year. And also you get complimentary access to the corporate box at the Brisbane Raw match. Just on an aside, they haven't been playing that well. And I think I will do an episode in future. Like if I was trying to market the team and build up attendance numbers, one thing you can do is obviously just start winning games and build it up. But I feel like there might be some other approaches that the organization can take to really build up the people in the stands and even like the A-League generally. It's just fascinating when there's a grand final and the Raw make it, they always sell at the stadium. They have really sort of fair weather supporters. So how do you reward those that have been loyal to the club? But that's on an aside. What I also love, if you don't know, so Spotify, if you have trained Spotify with like your favorite albums and artists, it'll actually tell you when they're in town as well. So there's ways of doing that. I'm on all the email lists for concerts and events, sporting as well. And I just like that as an idea. So today's a short one, but it's a good one. A lovely relationship building strategy is if you're keen on going somewhere, seeing something cultural, going to an activity, an event, get 2 tickets in advance and figure out who you'll invite a little bit later on. And thank you to Nicole Dyson for that tip. Speak to you tomorrow.